So the next day she went to New York, and we, on her Washington staff, stayed behind. We began to look at what we needed to do legislatively to get things done. And it was very fascinating to me that when she was in New York, she called with really two issues for us. One is the real concern about rebuilding of New York, and this much has been written about this. That she and Senator Schumer were very successful in the days right after September 11th, meeting with President Bush and getting a commitment to have monies that would go to New York for redevelopment. But one of the things that is less understood or known about is that the other issue that Senator Clinton raised to us is that she was very worried when she went down to Ground Zero that she saw all of these people who were working at Ground Zero, and they had these very flimsy masks on, and she was concerned about what they were breathing in. Now, she was worried not only for their immediate health, but she was worried about their long-term health. What was going to happen to these workers 5, 10 years from now? So this is something that she called and said, we need to get on this immediately. They need to have better equipment, and we need to start tracking their health. Over a period of 6 or 8 months, she again was really fighting this. And the Bush administration, frankly, didn't want to fund this activity. They didn't want to know what the health was. They didn't want to have a baseline understanding of the health of the Ground Zero workers. She fought and she fought, and she finally got the funding that was necessary to ensure that the health was tracked for all of these Ground Zero workers. And as we know today, there has been serious health ramifications for the people who are down at Ground Zero. Now, this is just an example of the fact of the matter is that she sees problems that really need immediate attention. She sees the short-term needs and the long-term needs. And there were other examples in around September 11th where she was really working hard. One was she began being concerned about the people who had been living in Ground Zero in terms of their health and the quality of air they were breathing in. And she was very concerned about the mental health issues of children in September 11th who had been in New York, who had been in the schools in the surrounding area, whether it be in Manhattan, or across the way, where they looked out in the sky and they saw the World Trade Center buildings falling. So she held a hearing in New York about mental health issues related to children to see what we needed to do if there were going to be long-term concerns. So again, these are examples of the fact that she's ready and willing to kind of roll her sleeves up, and she has the intellectual ability to see problems and then the practical know-how to get things done. And I think that makes just a tremendous difference. Over the period of time that she then served in the Senate, she was tackling everything from what do we need to do about protecting our country in terms of terrorism, looking at dirty bombs that could come into our country. She was at the same time helping with the rebuilding of New York, and she was doing the very practical human side of things where she was working with widows of 9/11 and family members of 9/11 who needed real support from the senator, and she was able to give that, and I think that made a tremendous difference. And so that's kind of her, what I think of her when I think who's ready to lead this country if we have another crisis. And I know Hillary Clinton is. I know she has the intellectual ability to do it. She's done her homework. She knows, what the situation is around the world, and she knows how to get things done.